I'm back again in my Create This Book. This is episode 30 of my Create This Book series by me and Mariah Elizabeth. Today I'm going to be doing 3 more prompts in this book. I am seriously so close to finishing. I know I literally just did an episode and I created one of my favorite things that I've made so far. Go check out that episode to see what I created in color. It turned out so beautiful, but I seriously have so few prompts left. So like and subscribe and let's create this book. The first prompt of the day is to create a colorless page and make a page without color. There were 2 ways that I thought about taking this page, and I either thought about taking things that were really colorful and then sucking out all of their color and making them black and white, but then I also thought of another way to take it, which is just to only create black and white things. So I decided to go with the second choice, and I'm making a page of only black and white things that are naturally colorless in real life, which immediately made me think of chess pieces because they're usually black and white. And then I thought about other game pieces that are also naturally colorless. So I thought about dominoes, which I have no idea how to play, but I know what they look like. And then it also made me think of playing cards because there are 2 suits on playing cards that are also just black and white. So I decided to kind of stick to that game theme, and I added in some little chips that had my own little anchor logo. I just kind of made it up. And there was one more thing though that I couldn't resist adding. And even though it's not game related, it is black and white, I decided to add in a cute little Dalmatian. They are so cute and my brain couldn't help but think of them when I was thinking of black and white things. So I decided why not add it, even though it has nothing to do with the other things on the page. But once I sketched everything out, it was time to outline things. I decided to try an experiment with a brush marker. I'm still really trying to master the brush marker because it kind of allows you to have a different flow in pen width as you draw, which can look really cool, but it also made them look a little bit messy. I'm still trying to figure out how to control how much pressure I use in the brush to make it look like how I want it to. So I'm still working on that, but this was great practice to do that. And that's what I'm trying to use this Create This Book for, is just experimenting and trying new things. So I decided to have a lot of fun with this prompt and just make things a little bit messy and stylistic, but I think it turned out really cool, and I actually think it looks better than if I would have just used a ruler and made a whole bunch of straight lines to draw these in. I just think it adds a little bit more texture and flavor to do it this way. And then it was time to add in my color, or in this case, just more black and white. I decided to add in some grays to give some shading and just make things look a little bit 3-dimensional. And then it was time to add in the black as well. So I started with adding the gray to the white pieces, and then now I'm adding in all of the black markers to the rest, which trying to color things in black can be pretty tricky sometimes because you don't want to just color it straight black because then you couldn't see your outlines or anything. But thankfully I have a lot more markers now, so I was able to pick some dark colors without blocking out all of my details. And then once I was done, I of course added in my juicy highlights with my white gel pen. You know that I have to do that, and I feel like that really brought these drawings to life and it made them look a little bit better. I did cheat and add in some color in the Dalmatian's eye. That has brown, I'm not gonna lie, but everything else is colorless. So now it's time to put it into the book. I cut out all of my colorless drawings, and here they all are side by side. I cut them out, that way I could arrange them on the page in kind of like a collage and make a cool themed page. And that was fun to layer them on top of each other and kind of get to decide where they went in the book like that. And it turned out pretty cute, I think. I love the game theme and the random Dalmatian. I think it all goes really well together, and I think it was so much fun. We've got our cards, the chip, the dog, the dominoes, and the chess pieces. This page was really fun, but now it's time to move on to the next prompt, which is to create a window. So for this prompt, I'm basically supposed to create a window, cut open this first page, and then flip the page over, and on the next page, have an image that the window is looking out to. So this, in my head, is kind of like a double prompt because I have to create a window, and I also have to make a scene that the window is looking out to. So I decided to start with the window first, and I wanted to make kind of a pretty stained glass window at the top, and I wanted to make the window look open and like it had little shutters that were opening to the outside. So the hardest part about this was cutting out the middle of the windows. I did it the only way that I know how, which is to fold the paper and then just cut it in the middle like a reckless person, and then go ahead and cut out the inside from there, and it worked pretty well. So now it's time to bring out my Ohuhu markers, my 320 that I'm still raving about, and now I get to actually color in this window. I wanted to make the stained glass a pretty pink. I love the pink Ohuhu markers. I had ones before, but I ran out, and now that I have my new ones, I'm kind of scared to use the pink ones because they are my favorite and I don't want them to run out again. But I did decide to be really brave and use pink on the top of the stained glass anyway, and then I added in some gold accents, and for the rest of the window, I decided to make it look like glass in wood, so I just went really simple there, and then the window was complete. I decided to kind of fold up the shutters to make it look like the window was actually open, and here's how it turned out. It's now time to figure out how to cut a hole into the page of the book. This was the scariest part because I felt like if I cut it too big, then I would be doomed. So I actually did it the perfect size. I put it into the book, and now it's time to figure out what the heck this window is going to be looking out to. Last time I did the Create This book, I made these Ohuhu marker landscapes, and that was really fun, but I still need a lot more practice with that. So I decided let's do another one, and let's have the window looking out onto a flower field that I've created with markers. I'm sure you can tell, but I am definitely Ohuhu marker obsessed right now. I got the new 320 pack for Christmas, and I was so scared to use them for like a whole month because I was just afraid to use them because they're new and they're precious and they're special. But I've heard people say like you hoard this art supplies that you love and you're so excited about that you never use it. It's like use your art supplies. So comment down below if you do that and what art supplies that you need to use this year because you're too afraid to use it and now is the time. Because why? Like what are you saving it for? You know what I mean? So I decided to use my Ohuhu markers. I'm using them a lot lately. I've really missed having them. A lot of the markers that I had were old and dried out, so I couldn't create as many things as I wanted to with them because I didn't have all of the colors that I needed. And now that I have this new pack, I am definitely loving them again. For this Ohuhu marker landscape, I tried out a whole bunch of different colors and made a sunset and flower field, and here's how it turned out. And now it's time to put it behind the window. I think it went so well, especially with that stained glass look at the top. And here's how it turned out. I think it's so pretty. I think the window is a really cool effect. And I was a little nervous about this prompt, but I actually think it turned out so good. Now it's time for the last prompt of the day, which is to create an upside down page. For this prompt, you're supposed to draw something upside down. However, there is only one thing I think about when I think about upside down right now, and that is Stranger Things. I'm sorry to bring this up. I know we all had a really tragic end to this show, and there's a lot of opinions about it, but it is seriously the only thing I can think about when I think about the word upside down, so I decided to lean into that and draw one of my favorite characters. Hopefully you can guess who it is. That would be ideal, really. But I decided to go ahead and draw Max from Stranger Things. She's my favorite character, and I don't know how you felt about the show, but it definitely made an impact on everyone, so I'm still gonna do it, even though, in my opinion, it ended in disaster. I know, controversial maybe, I don't know. But anyway, I still decided to draw Max. She's my favorite, and I drew her in one of her more iconic 80s outfit moments. I feel like everyone's gonna recognize this picture, but I tried to make her look super realistic and like her character, but also still in my style. It's been a really long time since I've drawn a person or done any sort of character art, so this was really scary and uncomfortable for me. I spent a lot of time trying to make sure that I got the sketch and the drawing right. That way, if I had a good foundation, hopefully once I added the colors, it would just get better from there. This one took me a lot of time, and I worked really hard on it to try and get the colors right, and I think it turned out pretty good. Hopefully you guys like it too. Comment down below who your favorite character from Stranger Things is, and maybe just drop a number as to what you would rate the last episode of Stranger Things. Not to get too far into it, maybe you know, maybe you don't, but there was this thing called Conformity Gate, and all I'll say about that is, like, I did not think it was going to happen, but I really wanted it to happen, and it was really sad when it didn't. But I still think the show's a lot of fun, and so I wanted to go ahead and just draw Max from Stranger Things, since that's what I think about when I think about the Upside Down. So I decided to add in a whole bunch of my own touches. I added in sparkles and highlights and lots of contrasting colors, and then it was time to do the background, and I wanted to have a really fun time with the background and kind of do a nod to the school colors in the show. So I did a green background, and then this one was complete. This was really hard to draw, but I think it turned out really cool, and it was really fun also. And yeah, did I draw something upside down? I mean, that's up for you to decide. You tell me whether or not you think this qualifies as an upside down drawing. But once I was done, it was time to cut it out and put it into the book. This one definitely turned out to be one of my favorite prompts from the day. I just think it was a lot of fun, and it really challenged me in a way that I haven't been challenged in a long time. So it was fun to draw this one. But let's take a look back at all of the other prompts we did today. The first page was to create a colorless page. So I created things that naturally don't have color in real life, and I stuck to black and white drawings. I did some chess pieces, some dominoes, some chips and playing cards, and of course, a cute little Dalmatian. The next prompt of the day was to create a window, and this one intimidated me because it was basically two prompts rolled into one. I created a window, cut it out, and created a cute little landscape in the background to be looking out at, this beautiful sunset flower field, and here's how they look together. I think it created a really cool 3D window effect, and I had a lot of fun with that. And the final prompt of the day was to create an upside down drawing, and I did not draw something upside down, but I did draw something from the upside down. So I still think it qualifies. Comment down below which prompt from today was your favorite. I really liked the last one. It was just really fun for me. I have done so many prompts in this book, and I only have 6 more to go, so only 2 episodes left. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss me finishing this Create This book. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!